All right, we are back for the GGLeagues finals. LTU Esports versus Too Tired. Doing pro draft. Not everyone has all the champions, but should still be the same. Looks like we're going through a champ select pretty fast as both teams know what they're doing or what they
Yeah,
want to ban.
yeah, you love to see this. Clearly, the research has been done, and there is no debate. These are the champions that they absolutely cannot or do not want to play against in this tournament. So, I personally, I really like the Echo ban as well as the Lulu. Both these champions can have a ton of presence into the early, mid, and late game as they are so versatile right now. Lulu scales so well with a lot of different 80 carries, and so it's a great general ban, especially as long of the more caster type support champions. So that's
So
a
it's
fantastic ban.
it's interesting because LTU and within the game, this is pro draft. They're in role order, and Kendrick Lamar isn't playing mid. So I'm not sure about the Echo ban, but uh, I haven't seen Tempest Natsu, who's the mid laner for LTU, play Echo. So not sure about that ban.
Correct me if wrong. It was LTU that banned the Echo.
Oh, I'm
No.
sorry. I'm like looking, and
Yeah.
been a minute since I've been pro. I'm like this Echo. Wait, why'd they ban Echo? Right? But I do want to know the double jungle ban for Too Tired. Hecarim S tier jungler. I think Hecarim right now picker ban. There's no way that Hecarim goes all the way through first picks for both teams and not getting banned. Very strong jungler. I expect to see him getting nerfed soon, maybe because it's quite disgusting when you have a Hecarim on your team.
Yeah, one of the issues with Hector Jungle right now is the fact that his clear speed is just so much faster compared to pretty much any other jungler. Aside from Udyr for a while there, nobody could really compete with him. He was able to get a full clear and get ganks off, while the other champions would still be clearing their second buff or looking for that scuttle crab. So I Hecarim absolutely. If you're on the red side, you have that second pick. You don't have that first pick priority. You have to be banning those champions away. Otherwise, you're gonna have to play against them in these tournaments, and they can get very messy very quickly. So, as if it's a great ban there, absolutely being forced out, and then the Kane ban as well. So, yeah, again, Bruza he does play both Kane and Hecarim. Kane quite often, and it is quite strong into the jungle. So, definitely putting a lot of respect onto the jungle with those bans.
Yeah.
And then we see the both that looks like a top lane Malphite as well as bot lane Ezreal and Thresh being picked up versus I'm assuming that's gonna be a Morgana support. Probably not gonna see another Morgana jungle, although we'll have to see what happens. As well as looks like a Cho'Gath top lane. I like the Cho'Gath into the Malphite matchup. Malphite loves to stack armor into these kind of lanes, and he's not gonna be able to get a ton of magic resist to be able to survive the Cho'Gath's damage. So that's a great pick. You don't have to worry about so much the attack speed slow on the Cho'Gath from coming from the Malphite when it comes to the skirmishes in the fight, because so much of your damage is going to be coming from it is coming from your E passive as well as your knockups and CC. That's going to be the primary focus, primary part of the damage there. And we see an Udyr ban. So that again, so as we did not see those two champions, both Hecarim and Udyr did not get picked in the first phase, going to get banned out absolutely. It's interesting. I guess the jungler does not play over for team two here, does not play the Udyr because they're going to have the first pick coming out of bans here. That would have been a great thing to pick up or force LTU to ban out.
So what I'm thinking here, you have the Vayne, you have Morgana, you have Cho'Gath. There's not a, I mean, obviously, besides Vayne, there's not a lot of damage right now. Obviously, they still have mid and jungle to pick for both teams. Potentially, the Morgana could be flex jungle, but what I want to see from LTU is like a Lilia jungle with like I kind of want to see Lilia and Yone pick for mid for like an absolutely wombo combo thing kind of going on. But we'll see. I'm digging the first three picks for LTU. You got Malphite, into Vayne. Obviously, the Vayne can get the black shield, but I think overall Malphite you go in even if the ulti gets black shielded. You E on top of the 80 carry. The 80 carry is gonna have no attack speed, right? And you're gonna have a
Mhm.
Malphite on top of you, and we'll have to see what else they pick, but. Potentially, if we get some kind of scary AP engage or scary assassin mid, it can be really bad for the Vayne.
Yeah, and again, we see even more respect going down with the Nidalee and Udyr bans both coming through. That's 4 bans, potentially 5 if you want to count the Jax as a jungle ban against the Bruiser in the jungle here. So again, so he is, I believe, their highest ranked player, and a lot of the pressure is on him to get lanes ahead early. But with both these teams being relatively high ranked, that is not going to be an issue. Make sure the lanes once they get a lead, keeping it and continuing it on over the course of the game. So I'm definitely interested to see what he picks up here in the jungle with 4 of his champions being banned out.
So also with the Ezreal pick, you have the how is Too Tired getting on top of the Ezreal right now, right? Because you have a Thresh and there's the Yone. I talked about it. But oh my god, look at their team comp. That's disgustingly scary, right? You have the Malphite Thresh frontline. You have the picks with the Elise. You have the Wombo combo with the Malphite Yone. And you have this, like I said, front line for the Ezreal. How is Too Tired going to get onto the back line? It looks like it might be the Zach pick, but we'll have to see. I still think that's not a strong enough answer to get on the Ezreal. Ezreal has E. He's going to have Thresh. If Thresh flays Zach out of his E, that's going to be detrimental to Too Tired's engage.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see here. I believe if the Diana is not able to get ahead in the early game, she's definitely going to have a lot of trouble assassinating that Ezreal. Diana can either become a super assassin or a more of a bruiser, depending on how she's going to be itemizing here as the game goes on. So we'll definitely have to see there. There's going to be a lot of pressure, I'm going to assume, on this mid lane here. You're going to want to shut down that Yone and try and get Diana as far ahead as possible. But we have, again, a very beefy front line from Too Tired as well, between the Cho'Gath, the Zac, Morgana, Black Shield. It's gonna be hard to get on Israel. It's gonna be hard to get on Vayne too. Getting through a Cho'Gath silence, followed by a knockup, followed by a Diana ult could even be appealing. Zac is gonna be knocking everybody away, knocking him up, dragging them all around the screen, pulling them in. It's definitely gonna be a challenge. We'd be getting on either one of these 80 carries here.
Yeah, but
Although
I think the LTU has instant engage. You have Yon. I mean, Yonel isn't quite. Both of the engage tools I'm going to talk about, they're not instant. But like, what do you do against Yonel, right? Say you somehow get the Black Shield on Vayne, the carry in the back line. All right, Black Shield's gone. What are you going to do against Malphite ult? Right? Like that is really scary because those engages incredibly fast. You have to have near perfect reactions to get out of it. And say Vayne say Black Shield's on cooldown and she doesn't have flash. There is no way she can get peel for, right? Like flash is 5 minutes. Malphite ult late game can be almost a minute cooldown. Yonel I think is also I'm not sure the specifics, but it's also a very very low cooldown.
yeah, no, we're definitely have to see how these fights are playing out. Certainly, LTU has a much stronger pick and looking like even a stronger team fight comp. Although Zac has quite a lot of CC in his kit as well. And if Cho'Gath and Zac are able to follow up with a Morgana binding, they're going to be able to lock down a lot of different champions. And so this is going to come out into the fights are going to end up happening a lot in the jungle. And we're going to have to see who is able to come out on top and who's able to get those first couple of kills looking for picks. And these team fights are going to be very deadly too. They're going to be complete wipes depending on which side finds themselves in the advantage from the early game.
Yep. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break before the game gets started. We're gonna have to wait out the 3-minute spectator delay, but we'll be back once the games get going. For all those LTU fans in chat, hopefully LTU can pull out a first W in this best of 3 series. And for all the Too Tired fans, there are a few in here, I think. Hopefully, I just hope, not to be too biased. I just hope it's a close game, and I'm excited to see what's happening. But we'll be right back after the spectator delay is over. I messed it up. All right, we are back. Here we are for the finals of the Eastern Division B finals for GGLeagues. We have LTU Esports versus Too Tired.
All right, and we're going to see both teams are looking for a quick bush strat to try and pick up an early kill. We got a 5-stack in the tri bush down here versus over up in the top side of the river. Both teams are going to be playing it safe though, waiting for the other team to walk into them to try and pick up that kill. But not look like anything's going to happen in this early game. Just going to play it safe. Yeah, just waiting it out. See
Yeah,
Malphite backing, heading up into the top lane.
yeah. Which invade do you think is scarier? Honestly.
In the early game, the Thresh. You cannot walk into a Thresh hook. You walk into a Thresh hook or an Elise Cocoon, you're going to be killed. Absolutely. Morgana binding can do a lot, but I don't believe it has quite as much CC in the early game as a Thresh alone can.
But think about like a binding, Zach E, knockup slash Chojiaf, AoE silence, and or knockup, like potentially be a little
It's
scary.
close. Absolutely. I think in the early game there's a little bit more damage over on LTU side. That's what I would be more afraid of. CC does a lot in the early game, absolutely, but there's a little bit more burst damage between the Ezreal versus the Vayne, things of that like that.
Yep. I'm expecting mid lane to be quite volatile. Once the Yone, what is it? I feel like is it Yone or is it Yone? I don't know.
I've always said Yone, I believe, but I
All right,
believe
we're gonna stick with Yone for today at least. But once the Yone gets, I think level 3, you're gonna see a lot of trading back and forth between him and Diana. So gonna have to watch out for that trade. I think bot lane's gonna be a little bit of farming early. Ezreal's not too aggressive in the early game. Especially Vayne. Vayne's not known for her early game. She's known as a very late hyper carry tank shredding monster. But I think with jungle pressure, mid and jungle games are going to be quite volatile, and both junglers are on the top side of the map, so it's going to be quite scary.
yeah, we're getting a lot of deep vision from blue side here into the jungle. They spot out the Elise. The Cocoon comes down. Looks like Cho'Gath could be getting pinched off here. It's forcing out the flash from the Cho'Gath. Zach is there to follow up. They could try and turn this if they wanted. It looks like they're going to dive in. Flash from the Ruza, jumping in on the Cho'Gath, getting the stun. All right, killing the Cho'Gath. Zach being forced to flash out over the wall. Ruza flashing the mastery after flashing and dodging the Zach E, securing that kill.
So a little bit of background on Ruza. He apparently macroed his mastery into his R. So every time he's going to be pressing R with Elise, he's going to be flashing the mastery, which is, I think, a little. Well, it can be potentially BM, just a little bit. But we have a trade going into the bot lane with Ezreal getting aggressive and Yone roaming down.
Yep, Ezra with that minion advantage is easily able to get in front of his minion wave and just throw Qs and auto attacks out at the Vayne. And with Morgana binding being down, there's not much she can do to kind of stop that. She doesn't have a lot of peel in her kit, especially prior to the level 6 without her ultimate being able to lock anybody down. Huge wave getting stacked up is going to shove the Cho'Gath here under tower. He's probably going to miss a lot of the CS if he's not able to kind of clear and get those down. Malphite very low though. Cho'Gath going in, taking a ton of minion damage.
There's so many minions. He has no
There's
flash
so
too.
many minions. Cho'Gath's be very careful there. We see a little bit of a skirmish here. Gank potentially coming down in the mid lane. Bruiser is looking to... getting minion blocked. Not quite able to get the early cocoon off. You do see the knockup coming through. That could be a dive. They're just going to play it safe though. They don't know where the Zac is. Looking for maybe a counter gank there. And play it safe. Back off.
So I think that was a little bit of a misplay from LT. They could potentially gotten out the flash. If they waited for the Yone knockup, that could have been an easy knockup into Cocoon from the Elise, and that could have just been a dead Diana. Still really good gank pressure off from mid, and the Zac is falling behind. He's not quite a fast clear. He's really known for ganking and spam ganking and being an annoying champion. But not seeing any pressure from him across the map. But at least is a early game spam gank champion as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has not had a lot of favorable ganks for him quite yet. He looked to try and make something happen about the same time as that Elise, who's a little bit late to that fight. Oh, and we see a hook coming down, a flake pulling the Morgana back in, Black Shield going down. All right, which means that they're going to be looking to play very aggressively here, although Ezra is low on mana, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful of that. He may not have enough to E out, especially in this early game. We're going to see another gank coming down onto the Cho'Gath. Bruiser just playing very slow, throwing auto attacks. Haven't seen a single spell come out yet.
Yeah, you don't have to. Cho'Gath has no flash. There's no way Cho'Gath can even potentially turn a kill. He's not level 6. So that's just a very beautiful regank from the Elise. Cho'Gath, where's the vision? So there's no vision there up top. So that's just going to be a free gank for the Elise.
All right, we're going to see the Cho'Gath is going to TP back to that lane begrudgingly. Zac is in off in the jungle here. They could be looking to counter gank that, although Cho'Gath has a huge wave crashing, so he's gonna look to farm that up and just kind of chill out, try and get caught back up in the slave.
Yeah, so overall, besides the top pressure that Elise has put in, every lane is even. I'd say even jungle. I mean, you can't really say jungle's even because the Elise has a kill and assist, but farm wise, it's looking very even across all champions.
And we see the Diana jumping in here, pulling him in. Yon getting his ultimate out canceled, or landing onto the Diana. Diana going in, finishing him up over the tower dive, taking a couple tower shots, but still getting out with plenty of HP. No worries there. Using both the flash and ignite. Flashes came out from both mid laners here.
Yeah, that was actually really scary. Looks like they're gonna look for a TP. Zach is gonna try to get out. He does have no flash. I don't think the Elise has the damage.
Nope. Zach still, I believe, has his passive ready for him there as well. So diving there could definitely be suicide for Bruza. And now Diana is also out of mana here. Yep, Yon is able to quickly dash in there and give a little bit of an assist onto that kill and finish that up with that Elise.
Yep.
Well played there. The mid lane taking advantage of the summoner's cooldowns is so vital in this game. Understanding that top lane's flash is still down for a few more seconds here. The Elise is looking to try and pick up maybe one more kill, although we do have a level disadvantage here on the Malphite. Cho'Gath looking very strong. There's the level 6 on the Malphite. This should be another free gank here. Cho'Gath's flash is going to be coming up very shortly, but it is not probably going to be enough. Tons of damage coming out from this early game Elise, and Cho'Gath falls once again 0-3 by 7 minutes.
Yeah, so again, I think the Cho'Gath hasn't realized, top lane, it's either an island or you get spam ganked, right? You blue flash early and into an Elise. Like, I think the first death, okay, kind of got cheesed, got ganked, whatever. Second kill, you still could have had vision out. You got to play a little bit safer without flash. Third gank, Elise has already been up top twice. The Elise is really focusing on the top half of the map, so you need to get some vision out to prevent yourself from dying to ganks. So I think that's a little bit of at least the third death is a little bit of a mistake by the Cho'Gath, but by no means I don't think the Cho'Gath is out of the game. He still has a bit of a farm advantage in top. Cho'Gath is you don't really need gold as tanks, especially as Cho'Gath. You just get your you sit up top, you stack your ultimate, and generally you'll be fine. You'll just relatively scale into the game. And there's really, what threat is there to kill you? Once you get late into the game, it's just going to be a dead Diana.
The cocoon missing, but it does not matter as Yon is ulting in on top of him, getting the knockup, followed up by the Malphite roaming down. He just walked down, he did not TP, so he still is going to have that available for a play later on if he wants. You see Vayne in the mid lane looking to try and pick up this wave and save that tower plating. Wow. Yeah, all right. A lot of action going on all across the map.
You had the Elise cocoon into the Yone, or I think it was Yone all into the cocoon. I think the Malphite all was a little bit overkill, but man, the Diana was not allowed to move there. And again, Elise is capitalizing on, mid has no flash. Diana doesn't have any mobility if she's not, she could potentially ult to a minion if she was somewhat pushed up, but you're already close to your tower, and Yone, Elise and Malphite are there. You kind of just get CC'd and die.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I do think that the Malphite ult was needed there. The cocoon, I believe, did actually miss at that close range with the knockup. I don't believe we should give Bruza too much credit on that one there. But yeah, no, it was great play, absolutely. Taking advantage of Summoner's cooldowns. Now we see Bruza in the bot lane for the first time. All Summoners are up. They're shoved under tower. Now this wave is going to be slow pushing back towards them. Bruza could look to sit here and chill, especially as they're going to be looking to push this up. Although Vayne is looking to back here.
Oh, cocoon misses.
That should be a dead Morgana. Spell shield flash is coming out. Morgana falling under the tower to the Ezreal, eating forward and picking up that kill.
So, So I was gonna say, you make the classic play is jungle, make a play bot, kill bot, or after they back, you get the dragon, and there's a trade over onto the Rift Herald. I think that Tire could have potentially dove top. You had 3 people up there. You had Cho'Gath with ult, Zach with passive and ult, and Diana. You could have easily dove the Malphite, especially since you knew his ult was down from the mid lane play.
Yeah, if you're not too confident about that cooldown, that could be a very dangerous play, though. Malphite ult is very short cooldown at all stages of the game, especially as we get into the later. It was just down for a few more seconds, And so if they were maybe a little bit off with that, that could have been a very dangerous dive. Although if the Zach was able to tank it and burn that passive, they for sure could have gotten a kill, even if they thought that Malphite ult was back up on cooldown. So yeah, potentially a little bit of a misplay there. Or we see a little bit of a skirmish going down in the mid lane. Yone going in for a quick trade. It looks like he gets out scot-free. Morgana getting caught out. Tons of damage coming down from the Elise as the cocoon comes out over the wall. And then Elise just jumps on top of her, doing absolutely a ton of damage with that Hextech alternator.
Yeah, and I think I think that's very interesting. Like, the Bruiser has been across the map everywhere. He's been bot, he's been mid, he's been top. He has 100% kill participation right now. So he's definitely putting in a lot of pressure across the map. But what is it? A 3K gold difference. Looks like it's going to be a gank over into mid, possibly a kill, possibly happening. Looks like they're just going to disengage. But I think that I don't know. What do you think? What do you think Too Tired needs to do to start scaling up into this late game, and play the protect the Vayne comp?
Well, getting some gold onto this Vayne is definitely going to be part of that. They're looking to get a kill and maybe get some L-share gold onto the bot lane here. We see TP coming down from the Malphite from the top lane, looking to try to assist their bot lane, make sure they don't get wiped here as a Zac is ganking. Malphite all gets a two-man knock-up. Thresh just CCing that Cho'Gath, pulling him back. Ezreal is all on his own. He's able to take down the Vayne. Morgana both died. Looks like Zac could be falling here too, although Ezreal is being forced to back out from the Cho'Gath. That is going to be Zac falling down in his passive. Ezreal dodging the knockup. He's looking in to try and get a couple extra auto attacks in onto this Cho'Gath. He's got to be very careful. He's got to watch those Qs. Oh, and the last Q lands, although the Triumph is able to heal the Ezreal, giving him just a little bit of extra HP and that survivability. Wow. That was the play that they needed to turn around over onto Too Tired here. They needed to try and get some gold onto the Vayne, and the exact opposite happened here. There was tons of gold that went down for LTU there. They are now quite a bit gold behind. This is going to be very hard to get back into this game now, especially if this Vayne is not allowed to scale up. If Bruiser is able to continually put pressure onto it, that's going to be a great thing to do here. As we see a ton of damage going down.
Oh my god.
Diana getting absolutely one shot from 100 HP to nothing. Yone doesn't even have his mythic item yet. Wow.
Yeah, so I thought it was like you saw the the second resource bar from the Yone. It looks like he was gonna have to forced to be teleported back, but he actually had enough damage to kill the Diana there. I thought it was just gonna be like, maybe get like some summoners out or whatever, poke him out of lane, but able to pick up the kill there, and that's actually huge. That just to show Yone this early in the game, not even a mythic item completed is scary. He has 2 kills, 100 farm, and I'm not sure what Too Tired's going to be able to do to peel him off the Vayne.
Yeah, absolutely. 100 farm in 14 minutes is certainly strong, but more importantly, he is 40 CS up on his lane opponent. So while he's got that extra kill and 2 assists of gold, he also has about another kill and a half from those minions as well in gold. So he is so far ahead, as we do see the mythic item being picked up by the Yone there. That's going to be make him even more deadly, as he's going to be looking to side lane and split push now that bot lane rotated mid lane here to try and pick up the tower.
Yep, Zac looking for some kind of play here. It looks like he's just going to try to scare him off, not look for a play. But I still think it's not quite over for Too Tired. Dragons haven't been taken. I mean, I guess it's only 14 minutes, so they do have a lot of time to scale before a potential soul can force them into some sort of a soft win condition for LTU. Depending on the soul, obviously, Ocean and Infernal, I think, are definitely the scariest souls that LTU could potentially get. So it's definitely going to be either Ocean, Infernal, or a Mountain Soul, as we do have a Cloud Dragon. But Yone going
tons of damage going down onto the Zac here. Zac tried to gank the Yone. Yone said, "I don't care. You're gonna hit me. I'm gonna hit you right back," dealing tons of damage, even through his aftershock, giving him extra armor, or extra resistances, trying to deny some of that Yone damage. It does not matter. Yone is so far ahead at this point compared to anybody on the enemy team. It's going to be very hard to get any kind of kills down on him, as we see so much shutdown gold available for Too Tired. If they're able just to pick up a kill here or there, they could easily get back into this game. They need to focus on getting as much gold as possible onto this Vayne. They should be sacking waves, making sure she's able to farm as safely as possible, as she is certainly in the win condition here. She is going to need to be able to scale, as well as the Diana, and to try and be able to take out their front line between the Thresh and the Malphite, and then Diana needs to be able to get ahead and dive in onto that Ezreal.
Yep. So what I'm currently thinking, best case, or not the best case, what the Vayne needs to do, put the Vayne in the side lane solo. Get the Vayne the solo experience, get Vayne the solo gold. I think send her top or bot, because those turrets are still up, and just sit there and let her scale, let her farm, let her get the experience, and that's a very good way to get your Vayne back in the game. You don't want to be fighting here as a 3-man Malphite alt lands.
Wow, with tons of damage, Wombo combos coming down. You see the Yone flashing forward to try and get onto the Vayne. The ultimate from the Yone getting a double kill onto both the Morgana and the Vayne. Tons of bloodshed all across the rift here. That is 4 men down in a 4v5 fight. I'm sorry, a 5v4 fight in favor of LTU.
Wow. That was a little bit of a spread fight. You had the Malphite ult going in there, and then you had the Yone ult, I think, landed on 2 people on the top side of the red buff. But wow, really good team fight from LTU. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to capitalize on the map. They did pick up a turret, but there's no dragon and there's no Baron yet for them to pick up. But still, over a 10,000 gold lead.
This Bruiser's gonna get caught out here potentially. Although it looks like they're turning the fight around. Zach is about to fall here. His blobs come out. Bruiser getting taken down, shut down by the Vayne. Vayne falls shortly after to the Malphite. Morgana falls. Tons of death here. Oh, this fight is very split. Everyone is just trying to get onto the back line and take out their damage dealers here. We see the flash forward by the Cho'Gath and just get flayed back by the Thresh, looking to try and pick up that kill on Thresh, although he is unable to get through the flag, followed up by the Malphite slows and CC. They cannot quite get there, and that is going to be another ace for LTU.
Okay, so that was a dangerous game the Thresh was playing there. The Cho'Gath flashes forward, and the Thresh is barely outside of the Cho'Gath's ult range. So, very close by LTU support. Very unfortunate fight for Too Tired. I think that at this point in the game, there's a 14,000 gold difference at 18 minutes. I don't think this game is looking too bright for Too Tired. Obviously, we live in North America. We know that the NA throws exist, but I think they should be looking for game 2. I think they need to focus on the top half of the map for game 2, potentially. So you have this jungler who's had 100% kill participation in the early game, ganking top three successful ganks that resulted in kills in the top lane. Ganks mid that went very well. So you're gonna have to shut down LTU's jungler for a potential, really good game 2. But like I said, the throws do exist. Maybe LTU goes for a Baron here and it gets stolen, and maybe they can get the next few dragons and potentially stall out the game.
Yeah, we'll certainly have to see here. If they're going to win any of these kind of fights, look at the score lines here. Yone is 5-1. Ezreal is 6-0. These two champions are going to be doing a ton of damage into these fights. They have to find a way to try and shut that down in these fights. Their best hope is that Zach is going to be able to dive in onto the Ezreal and try and pull back with some CC, as Vayne is able to deal with the front line and then condemning with allowing Cho'Gath to silence and knock up the Yone. They keep them suspended in these fights, not able to use his abilities, and force the dash back to his clone. But we'll have to see. It looks like there's going to be a Baron play here. There's the Yone all coming down, picking up the Morgana kill. No problem whatsoever. Now, he's going to get dove back in. Looks like that could be a pick over onto the Yone. Yone a little bit out of position here, although that shield coming through, giving him a ton of survivability. Either looking to chase down that Zac. That is the jungler falling. Yone over onto the Vayne. That is a double kill for the Yone. Looks like they're going to transition over onto the Diana. Ezreal picks up the Diana kill. Cho'Gath looks like he's going to fall next, and that is going to be a ace. Did not quite have a chance to finish that Baron buff, although they are running down mid with the Rift Herald. They're going to do a ton of damage. Now, this is still 20 minutes. That timers are pretty low. They are most likely just going to get an inhibitor here. They could look for maybe one Nexus tower although that is going to be very dangerous. They still do have the Rift Herald available to them to get one more final charge off to one-shot this tower here. Rift Herald goes down. They're going to look to pick up the second tower as well, potentially try and end the game here. Everyone is respawning. They need to focus on hitting his Nexus.
Looks like the two tires is going to give them game one, but don't worry, it's not over. This is going to be a best of 3 series. Looks like they're still trying to potentially fight back, but I think at this point LTU is just too far ahead. But wow, very good performance from LTU in game number 1 of this finals for the Eastern GGLeagues finals, and we'll be right back once we get game 2 sorted out. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to game number 2 of the GGLeagues Division B Eastern League of Legends Finals. A bit of a mouthful. I'm Joel Graves. I'm joined by Mike, one of the graduated players from Seaholm, back to cast with me. And this is game number 2, and it is currently 1-0, siding for LTU as we get into this pro draft.
Yep, so we see a very similar ban phase. I believe these are actually the exact same bans coming through from both sides. Even though that 2-tire does have blue side, they are still going to ban that Hecarim away and looking at the first pick of Wukong, which is that going to be Wukong top or jungle or potentially even mid? We've seen it in bot lane as well. What do you think? Where's that Wukong end up going?
So before I get to where the Wukong should be or is possibly going, I don't know about the first picking on the Wukong. You know, I think in this meta, it's first pick jungle or first pick support. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true as well. I do like a first pick top lane if your top lane is a one trick and doesn't have a lot of versatility. And so if you're looking to pick either like an Ornn or a Scion, those are very safe picks. Although if this is a Wukong top, we see a very strong counter pick coming out from with the Malphite. Malphite is going to be able to stack up a ton of armor, and Wukong is going to do absolutely nothing against him, even into this mid to late game. And the Wukong, it's probably not going to get counterpicked. It's probably not going to get banned.
All right, so to go back to the Wukong comment, I do think it's going to be top before I even seen anything else. I don't think Wukong jungle it's not strong enough. I think if you're going to pick jungle, they still didn't pick. I mean, they picked Jarvan. Jarvan's okay. Really, definitely good in coordinated play. But, I guess with their team comps, they kind of got a little bit of a wombo combo going on. Wukong, Sylas, the Sylas, if you steal Yone or Malphite ult, and that's a scary wombo combo. But again, Yone is tanky. Ezreal has E. Ezreal classically has been known to escape, slippy situations. So still going to be really hard to get on him. But I think they're drafting perfectly. These are champions that can easily get onto the back line, and they're tanky as well. Looks like we have a little bit of a misban, and that's going to be a Seraphine ban for LTU on that ban 4. But it honestly looks like LTU is just like, all right, we're running it back. Because if that's Seraphine, within the same order, it's going to be Gnar, Echo, Lulu, Seraphine, and they didn't ban the Sylas, so they can't, or they're not going to ban the Sylas because it got picked. But look, LTU is just like, okay, we did amazingly well game 1. We're just gonna run it back. Like, why would we change anything about our comp if we're confident we can win as strong as we did game 1? So, what are your thoughts on what 2-tire should do for this game number 2?
Yeah, I was about to say, so it has to be an Udyr ban here, as LTU has not picked their jungle yet, and they have the first pick here after the second banning phase. But I think I would have loved to see a Thresh ban as well, maybe somewhere in the mix here, maybe over a Jax. I'm not sure. Well, would have to see what. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. But the Thresh is going to give this. So 2-tire has a super strong dive comp. Jarvan has got his EQ combo followed up by the ults, locking everybody in. Wukong and Sylas both going to look to dash in and follow up and just stick with that Jarvan, going all the way into that back line. And the Thresh is such a strong disengage, being able to flay people back, disrupt those dashes as they're coming in, as well as if someone does get picked out, the Lance is able to whisk them away to safety. Is this really a Riven pick that we should see come through here over at LTU?
Jungle. Okay. I know since you know Bruza personally.
Yes.
You know how he likes to pull out his unorthodox picks, whether it's jungle or elsewhere. What do you think about the Riven jungle pick?
You know, I have oftentimes doubted Bruza, and every single time, I think the harder that I doubt him, the more that I've seen him come through and pop off and just do very well. Although there has also been
Wait,
a
hold on.
fair is that now Roden pick?
Uh, I don't know what's happening.
All right. Well, aside from that, too tired. I like this bot lane a lot better than the Morgana vein that they had last game. The Misfortune Karma has great synergy. While they have a decently strong front line and bruiser comp between the Wukong, Silas, Jarvan, they're gonna be diving in. Misfortune is gonna be able to follow that up with a huge bullet storm, which is gonna do a ton of damage over the entire field that they're gonna be fighting over, as well as Karma is gonna be able to stick with them, supplying a lot of shields, keeping everybody healthy over the course of the fight. I like this comp a little bit better from Too Tired than the last game. We'll have to see where the Riven pick is going to end up going here. If that truly is a Riven jungle, I think if Jarvan plays aggressively and his lanes have prio, the Riven is going to have a very hard time surviving in the jungle.
Excuse me. All right, we're back. Game number 2 of LTU Esports versus Too Tired. This could potentially be the last game if LTU is able to pull out another win. Looks like we're gonna have another 5-point versus or 5 stack compared to looks like a 4-point or 3-point.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a bit of an early skirmish here as the flash comes out from the Nautilus. The binding comes down, forcing the flash out from the Jarvan as well. All right, that's huge. A jungle flash, especially on a strong ganking champion like the Jarvan, compared to the support's flash, absolutely worth it at all points of the game. Having that early game flash down is going to make him very weak.
They're going for a re-hand, but they are so man.
Looks like they're going to catch out the MF here, forcing that flash out as well. 2 flashes for 1 here so far. Now, there's no gold going down, although Ezreal does get some stacks over on his Tear of the Goddess, so that is worth for sure.
Oh, looks like we're going to have a Wukong Malphite. I don't think this is what Wukong wants. Maybe?
No, Wukong is absolutely one of those super strong early game champions, and Malphite started with his Doran's ring rather than Doran's shield or even the cloth armor. So he's going to be taking a lot of damage in these. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage, but also taking a lot as well. So he's going to be very respected of the Wukong's early game damage.
Silas?
A huge trade going down in the mid lane already. Silas put at half HP, forcing to use his first potion there. Yona's just going to be kind of chilling, healing that back up with his fleet footwork here as we go.
Oh, level 2 gank?
Level 2 gank. Now we don't have a flash from the Jarvan, so Yona's looking to dodge the EQ, and he's looking to fight this. There's the flash out from the Silas, and the Ignite goes down, but level 1 Ignite does not quite have enough damage to finish them off. Yon does fall.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate there for LTU, but I don't think it's that bad. Like, it's okay. But so the kill went to the Jarvan. It's interesting to see Jarvan level 2 gank, even after not having flash. But
grabbing that MF, they're just gonna go for a short trade and kind of just walk that one out. Yeah, no, the mid lane play, getting that kill on Jarvan, I think is actually better in this scenario because the Riven jungle is gonna be so weak, especially in this early game, and she really needs to get some gold and kind of scale up and get her cooldown reduction items. We see a bit of a trade going down in the mid lane, but aside from that, looks like we might see a dive happening here in the top lane. Malphite being forced under his tower, very low. Jarvan full HP. Yeah, that should be a kill there. We'll see. The flash is down from the Jarvan, so Wukong is going to have to try and be very careful not to be tanking this tower too long.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to be able to get the dive off quick. Oh, he stopped us back. I don't even think he needed the flash there, but if you look on the minimap, you can see Riven's coming up. Jarvan has no flash. I don't think he has EQ. Looks like they're going to spot the Riven. Looks like they actually want to fight this.
Yeah, this is very aggressive from Bruza. Dodging the EQ. It looks like there's going to be a 3-man in the top lane. Malphite is unable to help. He is out of mana. That is another flash from the Bruza going down on his Riven here. Flashes are being blown all across the map. We only have 3 available so far. The Ezreal, the Karma, and the Wukongs. Yeah, in the first 4 minutes, very action packed here. A lot of flashes
Ugh,
going
that's
down.
Silas. Oh, never mind. Oh my god. Oh, it looks like the Young's just gonna die for it. He doesn't have any way to escape, but Too Tired is doing very well. Completely different game than last. That's gonna be a kill on the entire top side of the map, and LTU is making some misplays here. I think the Riven jungle is definitely not as strong as more traditional jungler, but I do think once Riven backs, gets a few items, gets level 6, we'll definitely start seeing the Riven being able to do a little bit better around the map.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now we see the Riven first backs here and picks up a pickaxe instead of the cooldown reduction, which is going to help her clear. She goes for that just straight up damage and to try and get herself a little extra early kill here. We see the Nautilus coming in. We see the flash down, flash being forced out by the Karma. Flash down was on that MF is what I was going to say there. So that is both flashes down in the bot lane. Looks like they're going to be forced to back. The Ezreal is pretty low here. They could reset and then look to rotate on this dragon. Both junglers are currently bot side, and we just see a bunch of skirmishes going down in the mid lane. Both these champions just trying to poke each other out and trying to stay healthier than their opponent here.
Yeah,
Tons
look
to
at the
sustain in this
farm
lane.
difference, and in the mid lane. Definitely a farm difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. About just over 10 CS difference so far. Although we see 2 deaths onto the Yone already, and this wave is being shoved under tower. Now the cannon is gonna tank a lot of that loss. Oh, and we're gonna see a gank going down in the bot lane. Nautilus is able to get the pull. MF getting knocked up. CC combo coming down there, and she falls to the Ezreal Eing 4, getting a nice W and Q combo off that last bit of chunk to finish her off.
Yep. A little bit of a trade top. I don't think this is going to result for much. Um, Never mind.
Yeah, Wukong's E is a very short cooldown on it, so he's able to just keep dashing in and getting these kills. Flashing forward using his flash for the first time in this game and securing that kill with Malphite's flash being down. Also, Malphite being level 5, he was unable to fully commit and ult in using that amount of CC in from that knockup and that extra damage, especially as he has that Doran's ring rather than a defensive item. We do see him pick up a cloth armor, which is definitely a very strong choice, as Wukong does have some built-in armor penetration in his kit already.
Yep. Um, Another gank. I'm not sure about this because Yone can just go straight back.
Yeah, that was a perfect ult by the Yone. Great use for the disengage there. Pulling the Jarvan back in, away from where his clone location is going to be, and then that disrupts any chance for him to be able to use his EQ combo there as he dashes back to his clone mid-knock-up and just kind of walks out. Now, we're going to see, it looks like a big fight going down here. Nautilus just needs to walk out of there, not quite getting picked out. If that chain went through and snared the Nautilus, that could have been very, very dicey. Yone playing on the skin of his teeth. We have a 4-man here in the mid lane. They have had enough of this Yone from the last game. They are not going to want to let him scale up and get further ahead. Although he could be a 1-for-1 trade, the Ignite does manage to finish off the Silas before his Triumph is able to come through and give him any kind of healing. Wow. Going 1-for-1 in a 4-man gank like that is so good for the Yone. You wasted a time of 3 of their members. Sure, you have the assist gold being spread out across multiple players. You're overall getting more gold going 1-for-1. As Too Tired here with those assists. However, going 1-for-1, you have to take that all day. Your lane opponent, you're going to be losing more CS as that wave is crashing under his tower while he's dead. And on top of that, you're still getting a kill out of it at the end of the day. You are getting gold into your pocket. Great job.
Yep. Looks like LTU is going to start up the dragon here. Doesn't look like Too Tired is going to look for a contest, but like I said, this is a completely different game from Too Tired. In the previous game, it was almost completely one-sided, but they are up in kills, but it doesn't make that big of a difference because LTU is only 100, 200 gold behind. Looks like Jarvan's ganking again. He's gonna miss the EQ combo, but yeah, it looks like Too Tired has locked down what their disadvantage was last game, right? So they kind of farmed it up, didn't gank too early, but this Jarvan and this Wukong, as well as the Silas, they're really playing well together and utilizing their roaming to go and make plays on the top side of the map.
Now we see Malphite ulting in here. I do not think he has the damage to finish that Wukong. Wukong has got a ton of not healing, sorry, not yet quite. He does not have that Divine Sunder finished off, but he has a lot of damage in his kit. Wukong with the Conqueror, and he gets a huge attack speed steroid whenever he uses his E and dashes into the Malphite. That allows him to stack the Conqueror very fast, and he can get quite a lot of healing off of that if the Malphite is not too careful. I am not sure why he ulted forward there, other than to maybe force the Wukong back. That could have been very dangerous.
Yep. Still don't think anything's gonna happen. Jarvan does have ult, but
Yeah, you're not able to lock down the Yone while he has his clone outside of the Jarvan ult. That ult was not going to do much more than just do a little bit of damage onto that Yone. You do see the Silas on the knockup here. Riven is looking to try and get in on this play. Now the the Jarvan ult is down. Riven ult comes out, finishing up the Jarvan. Yone falls again, going 1-for-1. Riven is looking to turn this around with her challenging smite.
yep. Riven's gonna need to get out here. As bot lane's roaming up, just gonna walk it out. Another 1-for-1 trade for mid. And the kill's going over to Wukong. I think maybe try to give Silas the kill. I think a fed Wukong could definitely be scary, but it's not. I think with LT's team comp, it can not see as much value. Maybe I think the Nautilus is able to peel really well for his team, as well as LTU has a lot of damage on their team. So if the Wukong is able to get a little bit tanky, a little bit tankier, I can see it being very scary. But we'll have to see as the game goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, while Wukong is picking up all these kills, he's spending a lot of time roaming into the mid lane to try and help and knock out the Yone. However, he is suffering in the CS department here. He is 20 CS down, mid lane's 20 CS down, jungle is 30 CS down, bot lane's about even. But we see that even though they're 2 kills up, they are overall down in gold compared to LTU because they are not able to farm. This just goes to show how important farming is overall over the course of the game. It does not matter if you're roaming around playing, if you're getting kills as a team, if you're not spending an extra time on the side lane farming up. Now we see Nautilus going in, absolutely locking up the MF. MF being forced to flash out, dropping the Bullet Storm, but not able to stay alive long enough. And then we see a fight. Again, another gank coming down in the mid lane. They're putting so much pressure onto this Yone. They do not want to let him get back up into that monster that he was the last game that was completely, that they could not deal with. Now, that being said, he already has 2 kills. Forget the 4 deaths. That does not matter. He is 1v2ing in this mid lane right now. Oftentimes 1v3ing. Jarvan being forced back here. Riven coming in for the support as well, although I do not think she was needed there at all.
Oh, something I do want to know, if anyone in chat watches, professional play, there was a recent match last week, the spring finals for LPL. It was FPX versus RNG, and that game, Royal Never Give Up was, a lot of kills ahead, but it really didn't matter. Kills are just an opportunity to get more gold, especially in the early game, really, because there's not many objectives to get besides, getting Dragon and Herald. But kills really don't matter. I mean they do, but farm can make up a huge amount of that. And look, there's almost a 2,000 gold difference for LTU, but they're only down 1 kill now, and I think their champion scale very well. So they're doing very well for themselves. 1 dragon spawning in a minute. Looks like they're just doing a 3-man zone for the Wukong, and it looks like they're going to give the plates over to. Doesn't look like they're going to do it, but a big fight breaks out.
All right, we see the Yone ulting in onto 2 members of the team. The Silas stealing the Yone ult, jumping in on the back line with 2 members. Riven using her ultimate, dealing a ton of damage. Ezreal gets picked up in the bot lane here from the Jarvan gank. They're going to force back. Wukong already used his ultimate, not able to disengage any further here. See the Rift diving in. There's the real Yone ult diving in, getting the knockup, followed up by the stun, and then knockup from the from Bruiser here. Wow, great play. Malphite tanking the tower, and he falls to the tower there. Now Wukong might be looking to try and pick this kill up, as Yone is not as strong as he was last game. And that 6-0 Wukong is certainly looking to try and skirmish here. Although, with all these minions there and no mana, that is very dangerous for him. He could be looking to try and bait for the Silas.
Ezreal ult? Oh,
Almost coming through there. Wukong is able to use his clone to dodge that, taking advantage of that mini dash that he gets when he pops into the pops the W and uses his clone. But yeah, wow. Good reaction there by the Wukong, dodging out on that Ezreal ult. That for sure would have been a nice kill for that Ezreal. That our 200 gold shutdown, nice 500 gold into the pocket of that Ezreal would not something that Too Tired can afford at this stage of the game.
Yep, that was very, very interesting. I mean, it was overall a good play from LTU. Still that one kill difference, but the gold lead has gone from 1K to 2K to now 3K gold. And all of their carries are fed. All the right people are not fed, but I say have the right amount of gold and kills on them. So Riven, Yon, and Ezreal are doing very well for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yone did have to take a little bit of a diversion item path, picking up the Executioner's Calling rather than being able to just finish his mythic item first here, which is setting him a little bit further behind in his itemization, but ultimately he's getting so much value out of that Executioner's Calling. Now that Wukong, between his Conqueror and Divine Sunder, he's got a ton of healing in his kit. Silas, as we know, has a ton of healing available to him as well, which is allowing him to do exactly what we're seeing on screen right now, which is absolutely obliterate the Silas, even though it's he only is a 1 kill and 1 death up over onto the Yone versus the Silas matchup.
Yep. So
Great.
I mean, look at the the item changes have or the items have changed for season 11 in League, but I don't think the Lost Chapter builds into Zhonya's, right? So it looks like he's split between two items here, right? It looks like he's gonna try to build Proto Bell. I think that's what Lost Chapter and the Ruby Crystal build into, but that just delays the power spike, especially in season 11. Mythic items are incredibly strong power spikes for champions.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do see the mythic finally being picked up by the Yone here. But I do like the arm guard by here. It is absolutely vital that the Silas is not dying anymore to this Yone. They spent so much time and resources trying to make sure that the Yone does not get further ahead into this lane, and so that's going to help him. We see the Nautilus ult being stolen by the Silas, diving in onto the Ezreal. Nautilus looks like he's going to get picked up here too. He's trying to get out. Yone diving in to try and help his friend. Although he looks like he's taking a ton of damage and has to just get out of there as well. Great pick here. Malphite is looking like he's going to want his part. They're clustering up. We could see a very nice Malphite all coming through here. Momentarily, there's two men. They're looking for the MF. Malphite being forced to ult out because he's so low. Bruiser getting ulted by the Jarvan, getting locked down. Yone dashing away. Double kill for the Misfortune. That was a great fight for Too Tired.
Yeah, so I think that was a huge misplay from LTU. They were thinking, oh, we can, 2.5 this because Yone's half HP, no ultimate. Like I said, low HP. Riven had ult full HP. Malphite had ult full HP. If they could have potentially gotten the Wombo combo, it could have resulted in maybe something. But it just didn't line up, and they just sat there trying to say who's going to go in first, who's going to do this, while the Riven ult was ticking. That they just got poked down, and then the Malphite had to ult out because they didn't engage fast enough. So a bit of a misplay from LTU. Still don't think it matters too much. They're still ahead in gold, but I do think it is good to know. Although they're ahead in gold, and like I say, it doesn't really matter. It does matter for the fact that they're giving away gold when they don't have to, right? They could have been played a lot safer in this early game. I think Yone could have played a lot safer early game instead of trying to go for I think the 1-for-1s are fine, but especially the level 1 and some of the earlier kills, when he got picked off by the Jarvan and the Wukong. I think if they played safer, don't give over a kill, they could potentially be a lot more ahead than they are. So, just have to say, is it worth doing this or is it worth doing that? But overall, I think both teams are playing very well as we approach the mid game. It looks like everyone does have a mythic, still waiting on Nautilus to get his. But how do you see this mid game playing out?
If they're able to repeat that fight a lot, a Too Tired that is, then this can be very scary for LTU. Now the Riven, she does not have. She has, of course, the micro stun in her kit as well as a knock up, but she does not have a ton of peeling CC. Now we have a Nautilus compared to a Thresh that we had last game. And
Oh,
like we saw in the last fight, Silas is able to steal a Nautilus ult and use it against the Ezreal, and then just further dive in,
we're
followed
about
by
to
the
see a
Wukong
big
respect
play here.
and the Ezreal.
Malphite
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
ult. Riven has ult. Let's just see who gets the Herald or what's going to happen.
Yep,
Just
Silas is not
waiting.
in this fight either. Oh, there's the TP coming in from the Silas. They're going to look to try and turn this around. There's the Wukong diving in, getting a 3-man knockup. Bulletstorm coming down, followed up by the Jarvan, locking everybody down. Silas stealing the Yone ult, diving in, locking everybody up. Wow, tons of damage coming down. Does the Wukong beat the Yone 1v1? Wow.
Uh,
All right. Malphite just having to run away. He's going to try and pick up a Karma kill here, maybe. Although it looks like Karma's just going to lock him and root him down. All right, he's going to walk back.
so that was
Wow.
overall a very bloody and close team fight, but it did tie for LTU. They only lost 3 members as opposed to 2 tired losing 4 people, and it looks like they're just going to get a free dragon. And actually, this is scary because they already have 2 dragons, and this is 20 minutes in. They're already at soul point, and it's Infernal. Imagine an Infernal dragon with their wombo combo style team fight. If they're 5 members proc Infernal in a team fight, that's scary. You can potentially see the MF get one shot, or really CC lock, because you have Malphite ult, you have the Riven, like you said, mini stun, knock up, you have the Yone ult, you have the Nautilus ult. You have such a scary team comp, and to add even more damage on top of it, it's going to be very hard for them to come back if they get Infernal Soul.
Wow. All right. Now, Ezreal doing a ton of damage onto the Karma there, but being forced out as Silas just grabbed the Nautilus ult and then dropped it on him and was threatening to dash in on top of him. I believe the Nautilus was able to peel for him there. But if this Nautilus is not able to peel that Silas in future fights, so much of their damage right now is coming out from that Ezreal. And until Yone gets another item or so, he's doing a lot in these fights, but he's not doing nearly as much as last game. So they're going to have to be very careful here, not to make sure that Ezreal is getting picked out by between the Wukong as well as the Jarvan Silas dive. So yeah, these fights can go both ways. If the Malphite used his ults more aggressively in that fight, in the last fight, that fight would have certainly turned for the worse for LTU. He had to use his fight to disrupt the the Misfortune's bullet time there, which is the only reason they're able to turn that fight around. Misfortune does not have a ton of damage yet in her kit, but once she starts getting a couple more items, her ultimates are going to be doing a ton of damage, especially if Jarvan is able to get another 3-man ultimate, locking everybody down inside of it for the entire duration.
Yeah, so looking at the overall state of the game, right? So I'd say every lane slash jungle is ahead for LTU except for the top lane, right? Malphite is sitting at. I mean, I think top lane actually might be kind of even ish. Bruiser items in general are expensive. The Wukong might actually back to complete an item here. But look at it. Both have mythics, both have components for a second item, and the Malphite has a little bit more farm, but the Wukong is 7-0, so very even in top and across the map. LTU is looking a lot stronger. The Riven is what 60 farm up at this point, which is a lot. And the Yone has caught back up, more farm there, and as well 40 CS farm difference for the 80 carries. And Ezreal is a really strong champion that 1, 2, 3 items really spikes at every point. It looks like there's going to be another fight for LTU, and it doesn't look like anything's going to land for either team. And they're just going to back out there.
Yeah, we see a couple ultimates going down, but more importantly, that is the Jarvan's flash going down. Now, there is a Baron up here, and both junglers were bot side, but now that the Jarvan's flash is down, he is going to be much harder for him to engage onto such a champion that can have as much mobility as an Ezreal does, especially in these next coming fights here. So we'll see what happens with that. Ezreal doing a ton of damage to the Misfortune there. Just a nice quick combo going down.
Yeah, I think Ezreal, the new season 11 items is really scary. Essence, because it's classically, in season 10, you can consider Triforce kind of a mythic item, but being able to get a Dust Blade and the new Dust Blade as well as the Essence Sphere is really strong.
All right, we see the Nautilus flashing over the wall there, following up his ultimate with his passive route. to try to guarantee getting that kill down on the Jarvan. Again, taking advantage of his flash being down. They're gonna further turn this, almost getting that hook over onto the wall to try and chase down the Silas. But it looks like this is going to be a kill for sure. Silas looking to try and turn around, try and get a quick kill over onto the Yon. Yon getting a shield from his W there. Looks like they're gonna try and turn and kill the Wukong. Bruiser flashing in, interrupting the Misfortune ultimate. Although he's gonna fall under the tower there, not quite able to do enough damage and pick up the kill, and not able to heal enough with his Gore Drinker.
Yeah,
All right, so far that is 2 for 1.
So it was almost a huge play from the Riven. Unfortunately, Exhaust is a really strong summoner spell when trying to reduce the champion's damage, because it's 40% damage reduction. So very huge there. Big Yone ultimate in the backline.
Yon coming over the wall, picking up that Karma, who's a little bit too low and overextended there. Yon starting to really see his damage coming through as he's starting a little bit later in this game. He just finished his Infinity Edge now as well, picking up a stopwatch. We see control wards coming out all across. They're going to be looking for this final dragon here. It is going to be very hard to contest, especially with the Karma that is going to be down.
Yep, and we're approaching kind of the mid-late game. It looks like they're starting up Baron, but LTU is just like, okay, take Baron, and we're going to get Infernal. I think this is definitely a huge play from LTU, picking up the Infernal Dragon for free. But as well, I mean, Too Tired is only going to have this power spike for the next 4 or 5 minutes, so they're going to need to really utilize this dragon to get some huge objective. And hopefully it doesn't look like the Ezreal ult's going to do anything, but they got picked very low there. I don't think it's going to matter with Smite, but big play from LTU, picking up Infernal, trading it out for Baron. So what do you think about that trade there? I think that, Too Tired has to utilize this buff.
No, I think that was the best chance for a win here for Too Tired. If they did not go and get that Baron when they did, absolutely LTU would have just picked up that dragon. They would have gone and got the Baron, and they would have ended the game here right now. But now with the Baron buff, it's going to allow them to extend the game out a little bit. It's going to be that much harder to push these waves under with the Baron up minions trying to push back and defending. So this is definitely going to help stall the game, try and give them another chance here to make it their way back into it, especially with the Karma being down as that dragon was spawning. There was definitely too risky to try and contest. And further, there was a level disadvantage in the jungle as well. So trying to go for a Smite steal would have been very risky.
Yeah, so for LTU, I know we kind of talked about a little much for this game, but like I said, Too Tired has been ahead in kills the entire game, but look at LTU's farm differences in each lane. 40, almost 40 CS in the top lane, 70 plus CS in the jungle. Like there's leads all across the maps in terms of CS for LTU. Like it's not really, kills don't win games, right? So the LTU sitting at 5 turrets to 0. They're very well ahead. So for Too Tired to come back in this, they need to kind of make a play with this Baron buff. Hopefully try to get a pick off onto the Ezreal, onto the Yone, and then force some kind of objective with this Baron. Because it kind of looks like they have Baron, but they're not forcing any objectives, right? So they're not doing any kind of like 1-3-1s or any kind of split pushing. They're just kind of just like farming up. I don't think that's the correct play they should have be making with this Baron buff.
Yeah, no, I mean, looking to farm up is definitely their way back into the game as well. Now, they need to find a way to get control of their jungle back. Look at the vision in the bot side jungle here. They have it. LTU has vision over their entire bot red side here. And then they did just clear the vision out of the top side as well. But if they're not able to be picking up their own jungle camps, that is a ton of farm that they're going to be losing out on and going away over to LTU. Now, it looks like Bruiser might be getting caught out here. He dives in. We see the TP coming through. Tons of damage going down onto Bruiser here for the Riven. Gordringer is not able to sustain him enough. Malphite TP is down and wasted now. We see MF joins the team in the top side. They have 2 tanks in the top lane trying to defend these towers. This could get very hairy. Ezreal is looking to run up there as fast as he can. And now Malphite is forced to ult out. With that cooldown down, it's going to be very hard for them to defend these towers.
Yep, so like I was saying, this is what you want to see Too Tired doing. If they're making a dive, not quite sure what they're doing. That's probably going to be a dead Silas. But this was the correct line of play you wanted to make. Really big clones used by the Wukong there, but yeah. So look, force a play top, get a kill, get a tower. Very good. Now, they were only able to pick up one tower. They did get ultimates, but I don't think it's going to matter because, unless you're looking to kind of force a team fight off in the next 1.5 minutes, it's not that big. But I do think the next objective that's going to be coming up is going to be that Elder Dragon. I think Elder Dragon and Baron are going to be spawning at the same time. So, again, that's actually going to be really big if Too Tired can pick up the Elder Dragon, as Elder Dragon is very, very scary.
Yeah, absolutely here. And yeah, that fight went just about as perfectly as it could for Too Tired. They were able to blow both the Ezreal's flash and heal. So that was a really good job picking him out there. They committed just a little bit too hard to get that, and so they were able to, or they lost a few lives trying to get those kills and get that golden impressive advantage while they had that Baron buff up. But yeah, uh, that is certainly what they need to do, and that is what model team fight for them. They need to try and emphasize more of that. We might be seeing Malphite getting picked out here as 3 members are converging onto the Malphite, although he is super tanky. Like a rock-like fashion, he's not taking a ton of damage. He is absorbing so much. Yeah, he is turning the fight here, flashing it, ulting in, onto the Karma there. Now, you see the ultimate coming down from the Jarvan onto the Riven, onto the Ezreal, trying to finish him off. Riven is in the top lane. 1v1's the Wukong, who's 8-1 at the time. Wow.
Yeah, so those actually almost very good for Too Tired, right? If they got the Ezreal and they got the Riven low, across 2 sides of the map. But if they were able to pick up those kills, look at the shutdowns on those champions, or at least on the Ezreal. That's almost 1,000 gold shutdown on Ezreal. And if you were able to get that on one of your carries, that could have potentially been very huge.
Bruiser flashing in to kill the Misfortune, who's walking up and just trying to clear the wave. Absolutely not allowed on against Bruiser. Bruiser showing his strength on the Riven despite it being in the jungle. The mechanics are still there. 3 and 6 at the time, able to 1v1 the 8-2 Wukong because of a very strong item advantage. All right, we're gonna see Nautilus going back in here, looking to try and make something happen. Now he's gonna have to try and peel this Ezreal. J4 is sticking on, doing a ton of damage, getting the shutdown onto that Ezreal. This is what I was talking about. Nautilus is looking to engage. He wants to dive in. He wants to try and make plays. Versus his Ezreal needed some help there trying to kite back. And with him diving in so deep, he had no one there to assist him and to get the J4 off of him. So good job by Too Tired there, taking advantage of that display. Yone doing a lot of damage. They followed up with the Wombo combo. Dashing over, looking to try and pick up. Nautilus is going to fall here to the Wukong. Wukong doing a lot of damage with his ultimate, but he is just getting melted by the Yone. Yone has hit that 3-item power spike. Yone is not done. He is looking to finish off and try to kill the Sylas. Sylas getting a big heal from his W, but it is not enough. Yone finishes him off.
Yeah, big play there from LTU. It was almost looking very good again for Too Tired, but they just weren't able to kill the carries. The big carries for LTU is the Ezreal. They weren't able to get both of them off the map, and especially late game Yone is why you late game Yasuo. There's the classic saying of hitting your 0-10 power spike, but all you need with Yone is time. You get items, and you just do disgusting amounts of damage. And it looks like Riven's over here soloing the Elder Dragon. If they're able to pick up that, they could pick up Elder and the game, I think. Pick up Elder and Baron, and it'd be even worse for Too Tired.
Yeah, certainly here. It looks like they're going to split their focus. LTU is going to be starting this as they are finishing up that Elder Dragon. It looks like it might even fall. They have so much damage between the Yone and the Ezreal before Riven gets a chance to smite there, although there is going to be no contest at all coming down. Now, with these double buffs from the Elder, from the Baron, they are extremely strong right now. These fights have been close in the past between these two teams. If Too Tired was able to just condense their fight and focus a little bit better together as playing as a team, these fights could have turned out a little bit differently. However, with the Baron buff, with the Elder buff, it is going to be very, very dangerous to try and fight them right now. But with all their inhibitors down, there is not much other choice they have.
Yeah, I can see potentially one more big team fight going on in this game. LTU, they have the Elder, they have the Infernal Soul, and they have the Baron, and they have 3 inhibs down. They could potentially just sit there and let the minions end the game So I'm very interested to see how Too Tired can combat this.
Bruza is
upcoming
charging in
fight.
here. Nautilus is still just getting past the secondary mid tower. They are fighting this one member down, but it just does not matter. Israel looks like he's almost getting picked out by the Silas, although Elder is finishing them off. Absolutely, kills going down all across, and that is going to be the ace, and that is going to be game 2 going to LTU.
Yep, big win from LTU, and that is going to make them the spring champions for the GGLeagues B Division League of Legends tournament here for GGLeagues. So big congrats to them. Still, big, not congratulations, but it was good to see, Too Tired compete here. And I look forward to seeing this team in the summer potentially. I think LT is also going to participate in the summer, but GG's to both teams. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, thanks everyone for tuning into the stream. Big thanks to Stay Champs for always hosting the stream. So I'm going to talk a little bit about I guess I'll just talk about tomorrow, which is going to be our fourth day. This is going to be our IGS showcase. So we're going to show off our games that our students have made over the course of the semester. So that's going to be really fun. I know I've taken the class personally twice. It's my favorite class I've taken at LTU to date. As well as we're going to have another speaker who's going to be Nate Behrens, who's one of the professors here at LTU. That's going to be very exciting. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks again for everyone coming out to the show, and I'll talk to you guys next time.